But as a fighter, just fucking
beast.
make it happen.
Yeah.
Keep him around. You got a
That's
gem.
more important.
It's extraordinary gem.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about sellability. You want to talk about marketability. What's more marketable than a giant man who destroys everyone?
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Yeah. So true.
But yeah, Tom Aspinall, you know, I'm going to be sweating. I've done 3 years of propaganda campaigns for him. Really put him over. And if he doesn't pull this one off,
he's got to,
then I'm going to worry about it. But there's so much pressure on him.
Yes.
He's one of those few fighters where when there's more pressure, I trust him more.
Yeah.
I'm confident for this fight. I don't want to talk of the after the fight. I'm confident for this fight. I want this belt, and I do my best during the camp for that.
UFC 321 is just around the corner, as Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane are all set to clash for the heavyweight title. Both fighters are training hard and are hopeful of winning the belt. MMA pros also know the importance of this fight and have shared their final prediction for this highly anticipated showdown. Joe Rogan talks about how dangerous Tom Aspinall is, calling him an athletic freak unlike any other heavyweight. He notes that while Francis Ngannou may still have the edge in raw power, Aspinall's speed and movement make him exceptional. Rogan emphasizes that his quickness and explosiveness give him an advantage over nearly everyone else in the division.
Aspinall's a freak. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem.
Joe Rogan also praises Cyril Gane and urges Tom Aspinall to be cautious in their fights. He highlights Gane's striking and movement as major threats, warning that underestimating him could cause serious problems once the bout starts.
Cyril Gane, who's 6'5", 247 pounds, moves like a 170 pounder. He's bouncing like Wonderboy. Completely changed the standard of heavyweight striking.
Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall shares that he's glad there isn't much footage of his fights available. He explains that the less opponents know about him, the better, since longer fights tend to expose more of a fighter's style. Even with 10 UFC bouts, he believes fans have only seen a small part of what he can usually and actually do, which he sees as a huge advantage.
To be honest, if I can go through my career and nobody seeing anything, that's ideal for me, because each long fight, the opponents get to see more and more. And right now I've got a lot of UFC fights. I think this is my 10th or 11th UFC fight. But the percentage that people have seen is like this, like it's 10-20% of what I can actually do, and that is just a massive advantage. That's one. To be honest, that's one of the biggest advantages that I've got, is that nobody knows what I can do.
Cyril Gane is also focused entirely on training and preparation, blocking out all distractions. He expresses confidence in his upcoming fight, stressing his goal of winning the belt and his skill in controlling distance while delivering precise striking. Gane concentrates on his family, team, and objectives, ignoring social media and outside opinions.
I'm confident for this fight. I don't want to talk of the after the fight. I'm confident for this fight. I want this belt, and I do my best during the camp for that. But everybody knows my strength already. I can move very well. I can manage the distance very well. My striking is a high-level striking, and so I'm gonna manage this. I do this for me. Like the target is the belt, and I'm not focused on the social media, the people outside. I'm really focused on my family, my friend, my team, my goal, my target, and training. This is a different mindset.
Tom Aspinall acknowledges that Cyril Gane is a tough challenge. He respects Gane's fluid movement and elite athleticism, noting that his style stands out among heavyweights. Aspinall expects the fight to test both fighters fully, with endurance and composure likely determining the winner.
No, I think this is just another fight for me.
Sick. Okay.
I don't like to put that kind of pressure on myself. It's just like, I got a fight, I got an opponent, we got to work towards that. Cyril's like really good as well, so
he's fucking sick.
He's good, and I think he brings a whole new challenge that I've not really had before. The same that I have with him. He's just like, his style is different to a lot of heavyweights. He moves really well.
Yeah.
He's nimble. He's super fit, super athletic. I think we're both going to be in a stage where I think to get to him, we both need to be pretty exhausted.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that's not something that I've really had to deal with too much before. A lot of heavyweights quite slow and ploddy. He isn't like that at all. So I think we both need to, like, I need to be super, super fit, and I need to get to a stage where both of us are slowed down a little bit before I get to it, which I like it. New challenge, I love it.
Demetrius Johnson believes Cyril Gane is a big, athletic heavyweight with solid wins, but he wants to see Tom Aspinall stay more active. He feels fans have missed out on seeing Tom compete regularly and says he's just excited to watch him get back in there and fight finally.
Cyril Gane, he's a very big athletic heavyweight, right? Like, he's got some good wins. And I just want to see Tom Aspinall more active. I feel we've lost a couple years of seeing him active, and I'm excited for him just to get out there and just fight, just to see him fight.
Michael Bisping praises Tom Aspinall as a once-in-a-generation talent, saying he will go down as the greatest mixed martial artist the UK has ever produced. He highlights Aspinall's unique combination of speed, technique, and fight IQ, which sets him apart from other British heavyweights. Bisping believes Aspinall's skill and dominance make him a rare athlete, capable of redefining what it means to be a British UFC champion.
It's not surprising that the fans have all jumped on the Tom Aspinall bandwagon, because how can you not? You know, he's a good, genuine human being.
Thought someone was going to tell me when to scream. No, it's just going straight away.
That just happens to be absolutely gigantic, and the last man you want to bump into down a dark alley. I think he's a once-in-a-generation type of talent, and I think he'll go down as the greatest mixed martial artist that this country's ever going to produce, and no one else will even come close.
Watch me defend my title for the first time at UFC 321.
Michael Bisping also describes UFC 321 as a high-risk heavyweight matchup, but feels Tom Aspinall holds the edge in grappling. He notes that Tom Aspinall is trained in jiu-jitsu since age 15 and expects his father to push him to use that skill. Bisping also points out that Cyril Gane once forced Francis Ngannou to wrestle, highlighting Gane's striking danger. Yet, he still believes Aspinall has the better chance to come out on top.
You never know. He could clip him. This is a dangerous fight. This is heavyweight MMA. But Tom Aspinall can grapple. We've seen him take people down. He's done jiu-jitsu since he was about 15 years old. His dad is going to be on his case, and that's an absolute fact, saying, hey, you're not messing with this guy. Take him down. Show him what you can do. Show the world your grappling capability. Remember, Cyril Gane turned Francis Ngannou into a wrestler, okay? So he's a very, very credible threat on the feet. But of course, I do fancy Tom Aspinall to get the job done. The fact that he isn't fighting John Jones is insane, but we've talked about that till the cows come home, so I'm not going to bore you on that subject anymore. But just you wait. John Jones is probably going to pop up on Twitter. If he doesn't beat Cyril Gane as fast as what John did, guaranteed we're going to get some tweets.
Daniel Cormier also speaks about the long-awaited fight between Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane, noting that fans have been waiting for this matchup for a long time. He says many expect an easy win for Aspinall, but he disagrees, believing the fight is closer than most anticipate and could go either way depending on how it plays out.
We finally got Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane. Chill, we've been screaming about this Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane for a long time. UFC 321, Tom minus 325. Gane plus 260. We finally got the fight, but the world doesn't seem to believe, Chael, that it's a close fight. And I don't really agree with that line. I think this fight is much closer. Tom Aspinall minus 325, Cyril Gane plus 265.
MMA Guru admits he's sweating over Tom Aspinall's next fight, saying he spent 3 years hyping him up, and now the pressure's on. He says Tom's one of those rare fighters who thrives when the stakes are highest, not a gym fighter who only looks good in sparring. Guru points out that Cyril Gane is the opposite, sharp and technical until the lights are brightest, then he crumbles. That's why he's backing Tom to get it done.
But yeah, Tom Aspinall, you know, I'm going to be sweating. I've done 3 years of propaganda campaigns for him, really put him over, and if he doesn't pull this one off,
he's got to,
then I'm going to worry about it. But there's so much pressure on him.
Yes.
He's one of those few fighters where when there's more pressure, I trust him more.
Yeah.
Because when the stakes are highest, you said this about Patchy Mix, sometimes guys are gym fighters.
Yep.
I think Tom's did the opposite. You know, because sometimes you watch sparring videos of him and I'm like, stop putting out sparring videos.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of weaknesses that I'm seeing and chin up in the air, and I'm like, but in the fight, when it's all... And I think Cyril Gane might be the opposite. This is why I trust in Tom.
Yeah.
Because Gane is really technical looking, but when the stakes are the highest, he does seem to have his worst showings and make his worst decisions, and Tom seems to be the opposite. So I think it's a recipe for a Tom win.
Earlier on his YouTube channel, MMA Guru expressed his thoughts about this matchup, and he shows excitement for the fight and predicts Tom Aspinall could finish Cyril Gane in the first round. He points out that Tai Tuivasa was able to hurt Gane even when outmatched, so a faster, more technical striker like Aspinall could potentially end it even quicker.
Maybe the UFC is really back. But Aspinall versus Gane, scary matchup. I think Aspinall's going to win by KO in the first round. If Tai Tuivasa can ever drop you on your ass in an MMA fight after you've beaten him up for the whole first round, if he can find a way to find your chin in that second round and drop you at any point in your career, I think Aspinall will find it in the first round. And I do think we'll see a first round Tom Aspinall KO.
MMA Guru adds that a win for Cyril Gane could shock fans, even longtime Jon Jones supporters who might suddenly root for him. Still, he favors Tom Aspinall, noting that while Gane is dangerous on his feet, his poor grappling leaves him exposed to someone with Aspinall's skills.
You know, if Cyril Gane wins, my life will crumble before my very eyes. You understand this, right? We can't have Cyril Gane win. There's gonna be a conglomerate of MMA fans that are suspiciously pro Gane here for no reason whatsoever. Okay? Now, these may be considered former Jon Jones fans that now have nowhere to go because Jones retired, that will now pretend to be Cyril Gane fans and pretend to want Cyril Gane to win for the good of the sport. I just think he's way better. Tom Aspinall's the correct prediction. It is a very risky matchup. Cyril Gane is very, very technical. Cyril Gane is harder to hit than any former opponent of Tom Aspinall. I just think his grappling is a weakness, and he'll be thinking about that in a fight with Tom. And while you're thinking about that, you've also got to think about being knocked out with any punch you get hit with. So it's just a lot for Gane to worry about.
Ian Gary predicts that Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane could end in the first round. He calls Aspinall one of the most gifted heavyweights in UFC history and says that regardless of how quickly the fight finishes, the key is Aspinall claiming the belt and proving he's the best in the division.
I don't see that fight getting out of the first round. Right. I think Tom is phenomenal. I think he's absolutely the best heavyweight we've ever seen in the UFC. I said to him, it sucks to win the belt that way, to be the champion this way, that no one's going to remember that in 3 fights time. They're just going to remember what you've done and that you are the champion of the world and you're the best in the division, and that's it.
The light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira shares his thoughts on Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane, saying Gane's constant movement makes him tricky to read. He believes this could disrupt Aspinall's timing early, as Gane's elusive style is very different from the aggressive fighters Aspinall usually faces.
What do you think about Aspinall and Cyril Gane? Like, who do you think he will win? Is the winner something that interests him?
Cara, ali é uma luta assim difícil, né? Mas o Tom Aspinall, campeão, vem mais confiante. Mas assim, eu vejo que ele lutou com atletas também assim, muito agressivo, entendeu? E ele tá levando a melhor ali, mas acho que o Cyril Gane ele é um cara assim mais, que movimenta mais. É um cara que não gosta de se expor, entendeu? Um pouco ali de medo e tal. Então, quando você tem um certo medo, um receio, você acaba não tomando muitos golpes. Então, a gente vai ver. Vamos ver, porque de repente ele pode frustrar um pouco, né? O Tom Aspinall ali, de passa ali primeiro, segundo, terceiro round, vai levando pro final. A gente não sabe como que ele vai se comportar também.
It's a tough fight, you know. Tom is a complete fighter, but I do feel like he's fought a lot of aggressive guys, and I think Gane is a guy who's going to do a lot of movement. He's going to be a little more cautious and you know, just moving around a lot, and might frustrate Tom. You know, so first, second, third round, maybe Tom can't find Cyril Gane, so I think it's going to be a different fight. We'll see.
Henry Cejudo considers Tom Aspinall's fight with Cyril Gane a significant test. He notes that Gane's unusual combination of size, speed, and agility will challenge Aspinall's ability to dominate like he usually does. Henry Cejudo sees the matchup as a true measure of Aspinall's skills and suggests the result could impact whether Jon Jones returns to chase the heavyweight title.
You give him the number one contender, Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't think Tom Aspinall gets rid of him right away like he has with other people. people. And I think that'll be a big indication if John Jones wants to come back and reclaim that bout once again.
Kamaru Usman points out that Cyril Gane is often underrated for his all-around skill, fluid movement, and precise striking. He also praises Tom Aspinall's speed, sharp boxing, and knockout power, saying it's hard to pick a clear favorite. Usman sees the fight as a true battle between two elite heavyweights.
Cyril Gane is, people forget how fantastic he is. A guy that can kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, speed, and his power, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore.
Matt Brown notes that both fighters face intense pressure, but Tom Aspinall carries more due to the stakes for his legacy in the heavyweight division. He explains that a win for Cyril Gane could shake the division's reputation, while Aspinall has the chance to cement himself as its top fighter. Brown adds that even a narrow victory or a small mistake by Aspinall could affect how the division and his status are perceived.
It's almost an unfair comparison, right? When we talk about pressure versus pressure, everybody's under tremendous pressure. But I guess when you kind of look at it from not just pressure, but potential legacy and career and what's on the line, I think it's hard to not go with Tom Aspinall because the heavyweight division is on the line. If Gane goes in and beats him, no disrespect to Gane, love the guy, the heavyweight division loses a lot of respect. Even if Tom goes out there and it's a close fight, or he gets dropped and then has to come back or something, like, the heavyweight division has so little respect right now, probably deservedly so, I think. You know, with Gane getting his third title shot in a couple years, like, Tom has to show that he is the heavyweight division. You know, he has to prove that to the world. Like, I am, you know, the heavyweight division's not just, but like, I'm so good that the heavyweight division is, right? This is kind of his thing that he has to go out there and prove to the world.
Meanwhile, Benoit Saint-Denis expresses full confidence in Cyril Gane ahead of his fight with Tom Aspinall, expecting France to finally produce its first UFC champion. He notes that spending more time training and communicating with Gane this year has strengthened his belief in Gane's preparation and skills.
How do you think he does against Tom?
To be honest, I think we are gonna finally have our first French UFC champion. I think Cyril, I've been talking with him. I have been taking more time with him this year than the past years, talking and training and yeah.
Benoit Saint-Denis believes Cyril Gane is fully prepared and driven to win the title. He highlights Gane's long-term dedication, focus, and discipline in training. Saint-Denis calls Gane an exceptional athlete, even among heavyweights, and expects him to outwork Tom Aspinall over 5 rounds. He anticipates a tactical high-level battle, but trusts that Gane has the tools to secure victory.
I think he's ready, and I think he has this fire inside him of wanting to become champion, working out since a long time. He's not talking a lot this past month, but he has been doing a real good job, and he has been working hard, and I do believe he's an exceptional athlete, even for the heavyweight division. And on 5 rounds, I do believe he's gonna beat Tom Aspinall, and I cannot wait to see it, because of course it's gonna be tactical and very high level stuff, but I do believe Cyril can do it, and he will.
Furthermore, Ariel Helwani believes that if Alex Pereira beats John Jones and then Tom Aspinall, the GOAT conversation becomes extremely compelling. He notes that these wins would boost Pereira's legacy to a historic level, putting him on the brink of unprecedented achievement in MMA.
Right. If he fights John Jones and beats him,
yeah,
and then goes and fights Tom and beats him, you have to start talking about him being the greatest ever.
He's the GOAT if he does that.
Period. There's like no discussion anymore.
No, there's no convo if he does that.
So it's right
Can you
there.
imagine?
He's got a 2-fight plan, and by the way, the money, I can't imagine what it's going to be. This guy was a few Magomed takedowns away on Saturday from, like, now us talking about him fighting Mingyang Zhang next. You know what I mean? And now he has set himself up for 2 fights in 2026, potentially June and December, where he's on the verge of legit history.
So, that's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this, and who do you think wins this matchup? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.